5:33, and we are dedicated to providing single gender classes, quality instruction, individualization, and family community involvement in order to ensure students' proficiency. We will, let's see who's here. Suits Deputy.
Mary Merchant.
Jim Chikarsky.
Anybody?
Teresa Melendez.
And those are the board, the GC members. And do we have Ms. Bachman, I can see. Anybody else?
Yep, Mrs. Weeks is here too.
Oh, good. Hi, Julia.
Katie.
Hi.
Katie.
And Katie's on, and Dan Hill is online.
Okay.
Okay.
Electronic.
Okay, great.
Dan.
Thank you.
Melendez.
Could we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 How about the minutes from the last meeting? The only thing that I saw was in the governance committee. The second was made by Karen Thompson. Now it was either Karen or Melinda, but probably not both.
Oh, did I say by both?
Well, no, you just had Karen Thompson, so I don't.
Sorry.
I don't know why I think it was Melinda, but I can't swear to that.
Okay, wait a minute. It's not Karen Thompson, so it's Melinda Thompson. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
Go back and watch the tape. Come on.
What have you been doing up there besides getting wet?
That's all. Just getting wet. We just got here.
And so that it was okay then, right?
Yeah.
Any other
My initials by this.
anything else about the minutes from the last meeting?
Okay, you do it. It's the second page.
Hello?
What?
No,
What
I think
did
we're
you
good.
say?
Anything else about the minutes? Are we good?
Yes, we're good.
Could I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. How about the financial documents? Mr. Tim, do you have something you'd like that we need to go through with this?
Well, yes, and to take us through that will be Katie.
Oh, good.
Since we have the new sort of format, I asked her if she would just take a quick minute to walk us through it and point out the highlights.
Okay.
Thanks. Let me share my screen with you. Oh, Lori, can you? Says it's disabled from screen sharing. Or I guess
that long thing where it's how to get to this meeting.
Is it Zoom?
Yeah, how do you do it?
Go to participants and give her, or click on participants again. And then give her there you go. Make host or make whatever. You're gonna have to give us host rights back, Katie, okay? That's how
Okay.
I do it.
Okay, thank
Would
you.
you like me to put on Zoom so I can get it?
No, because she has to do it, so.
I'm just saying so that they can view it from here instead of looking at your screen because she can be sharing her screen.
Perfect. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
If you want to, yeah.
Hold on for a
Hold a
second, will you,
second.
Katie?
1 second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of you's gonna have to turn off volume though.
I have mine's muted already.
Okay.
Just push mute, not power.
Hmm.
Power off.
Turning back on, you can.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, Katie.
Oh, no, you're fine. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Where is she? There she is. Hey,
There you
Melinda. Hey, Dan. Okay.
Right. So this is the new financial document that will be in the finance or in the governing council folder. You guys can look at this anytime that you want. There used to be like a whole folder of things. Now it will be this one PDF and it will have like hyperlinks in it. So it will take you to look at other things if you want to. Moving with Axiom, we're doing a lot of now like forecasting and looking into the future. And I know like you guys attended that training with Katie last week, which was great. And hopefully that kind of gave a kind of a baseline of the purpose of forecasting, kind of looking at the health of the school into the future too. So there's a few pages on here that are going to look at the forecasting. And then at the very end of the document, I'll have a deeper dive of documents and things that you guys can look at too. So this first one is the financial forecast. We'll have our approved budget here, and this is what PED and sees, and that's what's in OBMS. And the blue column, this is kind of our current forecast. So the forecast is really just an adjusted budget. So as we're going, this will be like a living, breathing budget. We can make changes. And what that will look like is eventually we'll make a bar and change that with PED in our budget too. But this is just so we can update our budget in real time and kind of see where we're going and also into the future, not just this fiscal year. Some of the highlights for revenue, there are a couple bars tonight, but we got $215,000 for the kitchen infrastructure grant. I know Ms. Bachman had mentioned that before. So we do have a bar for that tonight. And then there's also, we got a $400,000 award for pre-K, and that's just for our normal budget for this year. The budget wasn't approved by PED before 6:30, so it reset to 0. So we were planning on that money. It's not new money. It's just that now we have to do it as a bar instead of just kind of being in the budget. So for expenses, we're opening a ton of purchase orders. Julie's done a lot of work on that for the new fiscal year. So there's a lot this month. We didn't process any payroll in July, so there's no activity for that because we do pay staff out in June. And then at the end of this, there are some contracts that we'll have to disclose to the board for, contracts over $10,000. Our fund balance, and that's for like our cash, kind of where we're looking at. It's really healthy. We're anticipated to be around 500,000 as we move throughout the year, which is really great, especially for our reimbursements and having to cover that money for then. So I'll put a couple highlights kind of on this page that you guys can see, or I can mention to you too for those different categories. And the next page, this is just related to cash flow mainly. At the very bottom in orange, you can see, let me zoom in a little bit too. Oh, that's too much. How many days of cash we have on hand. So at the end of July, we plugged in what was our actual like revenue and expenses for July's already plugged in here. And the rest is kind of a forecast, kind of an estimate of where we're going to be for the budget. But our days of cash on hand, like at the end of July, was 59 days, which is really great. So that means we have a couple months of operating money in the bank, which is a great place to be. And then you may notice at the end of June, it gets lower. It's going to be at 22 days. And that's because we're going to be paying out all of the employee contracts for their payroll and their summer pay. So this is just kind of a working document on this one. It kind of rolls everything up for revenue and expenses, but you can kind of see where we're estimating or projecting for some spending or some revenue to come in as the as the year goes and as each month closes, this will get updated to you so you can see what we actually spent that month. On the next tab or the next page, it's oops. It's also related to cash flow. This is just a graph, just so you can kind of see this is in the thousands, but just kind of where we're trending with our cash in the bank and what we have. And again, in June, it's going to go down, and that's just because we're at the end of the fiscal year. Everything has to be spent out, and we're going to pay out those payrolls. So this will adjust and move as the year goes on too. If we get any increases in revenue, or maybe we get any decreases, this will kind of change as we go too. This tab is for fund balances. These are for grants or reimbursables, specific funds. SCG comes in monthly, but these ones are ones that we'll probably have reimbursables for. So we didn't submit any RFRs last month because there really wasn't very many expenditures for these grants, and we didn't run payroll, which is where a majority of these go. So this graph will change as we go. You'll get to see what is our budget. We're forecasted to spend out all the budgets, but you'll get to see there'll be a little green line when we actually spend things. And you'll get to kind of see where our outstanding RFRs are too. I know sometimes we talk about that if we're waiting on PED or APS for that. But I just want you to have a visual too. If there might be some months, especially the next coming months, that we might be sitting on some RFRs for a little bit, waiting to get reimbursed. So this will just kind of, just kind of information related to the fund balances and the reimbursables. And this this tab, this is a finance committee review checklist. So this is kind of what's replacing the folder that had a lot of things in it. But all these things that are blue are hyperlinks. So if you click on them, it'll open in online. So you can see the bank statement, or you can see the bank account reconciliation, the balance sheet. We'll still be posting the normal reports on our website. They just will look a little bit different because we're in a different software now. So all this will still be there for you guys to look at if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay too. That's what the finance committee is doing. But the bars will also be listed in here, which you can open, and we can present those next to you. But all of that information is here for whoever wants to see that. This is where also we'll have all of the purchase orders that are above $10,000. It'll have the PO numbers, and also I've linked like the quotes or the contracts if anybody wanted to look at those. There's a couple that have more than 3, and that's because it's over $20,000. So that's just for compliance and procurement for you guys to know. And then the last page of this are just some next steps. I'll just put a few highlights or different things in there for you guys. Some of the accomplishments is, we have an estimated ending fund balance is really solid. It's looking really good. And that's directly related to spending out a lot of those federal grants that we got and utilizing those. We've received all of our reimbursements for FY24 from APS and PED, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we got our pre-K budget, which is great. That will be the bar tonight, and then the next 30 days, kind of where we're going. Be diving in deep for our audit. That's coming up in September, and then we'll just be monitoring we might make some budget adjustments for what we're actually going to be spending now that we've hired people and some of our budget has changed. And then next month, like I said, we'll be starting to process RFRs too once payroll kicks back up.
What
So
is an RFR again? Say it again.
Oh yeah, requests for reimbursement.
Oh.
And so those are the ones that we got to spend the money and then ask for it back from either APS or PED. And then any future items, it's just really keeping to the budget and then working on the audit because that's here now. So so there's not very many pages in here, but it has quite a bit of information. And I don't know if anybody has any questions about any of that. I know it's kind of a lot and it's new. And if we need to tweak things or you guys have questions about stuff, I can definitely do that too.
Katie, is this gonna make the audit easier on you?
No, I mean, I think that like a lot of the processes that we've been doing with Coral and the way that things flow make the audit easier, honestly. Because Julia's great saving documentation and Miss Bachman signs off on a lot of things, and so it has a lot of compliance, but they won't necessarily really look at this, I guess. But our new systems and in Axiom, it will be really helpful. It's really easy with some of the templates or some of the things that they request to, which will be nice. So,
Okay.
And so this will be in the meeting folder?
yeah, so it's in the meeting folder now. For me, it looks kind of on the bottom, but it says finance and then CCCS board presentation, 8/2024. So yeah, I'll put that in there every month. And yeah, you guys can look at it or not look at it if you want, or I can, go over highlights at the meetings if you want to. I know it's just super new, so I'm flexible and doing whatever you guys would like to see.
Katie, I'd like to thank you for going over that with me yesterday.
Oh, you're
Gave
welcome.
me a very good preview. Thanks so much.
Oh, good. Hopefully it helps. I know, yeah. And even like, yeah, some of these weird acronyms and things. So good.
Anybody else have any questions for Katie?
I have thousands, but I can't yet put them into a sentence.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Where are you hiding, Merchant?
What?
Where are you hiding? I hear your voice. I don't see you anywhere.
Oh, I'm just on the sideline. I don't have my own computer.
Ah, I see.
Katie, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I think as the months go on, we'll like Merch said, I think that there's I don't know enough to ask the question. So so we'll grow into it.
Yep, that sounds great. Yeah, and I don't know at this point or if you need me to talk more to Sue about the POs that are over 10,000 or give some highlights on those. I know bars are a separate thing, but if you want me to talk about those at all, because we do have a handful of those this month.
If you could go ahead and do that for us, that would be great. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, so I'll just zoom in here a little bit. So the first one that we have, and I have the PO numbers listed here too, because you can open them in this purchase order if you want. But the first one is stove in construction, and that was for all of the windows that we had done in the school. So there's a quote and contract in there for that. That project is complete, but that was a PO that was open in July, over 20 or over 10,000. We also have DMH Law, which is Dan Hill. So that contract is over 10,000. But we have a quote in there too in contract. Moss Adams, that's our auditors. We don't have really choice for that one. But there's a quote and contract in there for those as well. And then we also have Axiom Analytics. There's two quotes or two POs in there, and it's for Axiom Software and Business Management Services. So there's a quote and contract for that. We also have APS, and that's for the food service. There's an MOU in there for that, for the contract, because we'll be using them for our food services again this year. We also have Doris Suhig, and that's where our lease to purchase gets paid to. So that quote contract in there is our actual lease to purchase. But that's for our monthly lease payment. And then there's Steady Networks, and there's actually 3 quotes in there for that one, because that one is over 20,000, and that's for our technology support services. So there's 3 quotes. That way we could be in compliance to pick the vendor, and Steady was the one that was selected. There's also Charter School Nursing Services. There are quote and contracts in there, and that's for just student nursing services in the school. There's also Cratagus LLC, which is actually Janny King is what they go by, but they're our cleaning company for the school. And again, there's 3 quotes for them because they're over 20,000. And Janny King was selected for services. And then the last one is a big one, but it's Cooperative Educational Services. This is for CES, and that's for all of our ancillary services for like speech therapy and OT and that kind of thing for students.
That all comes from one place? This each the
Usually, sometimes we do independent,
uh-huh.
but most of the time it comes from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've had them before.
We've had them like since the beginning of the school. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's all of the contracts that Coral entered that are over 10,000. And yeah, all of these are, yeah, vendors too that we've used before. So yeah, nothing kind of out of the ordinary. There's just a lot of POs for July since we're opening the fiscal year. So I don't know if anybody has any questions about any of those or not.
Not I, Katie, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do we need to move on to bars next?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a quick question for Katie. Katie, did you shut off? Do I need to change the wording in my my section of the finance in the minutes?
I don't think so. Because yeah, the finance committee is still reviewing, we're still reviewing all of those items. So I
Okay.
think that should be fine.
So
Yeah.
it should be fine. Okay, thank you.
Right. And then do you want me to pull up the bars now, or do we need to vote on those separately, the financials and the bars, or do you want to do them together, Sue?
I'm not sure that. Yes, let's vote. Let's vote on the on the on the on the on the POs,
Okay.
the purchase orders over 10,000.
And I think, Sue, that you guys just need to vote on the financials. I don't think you really need to vote on the POs. Just
We
because
don't
you guys.
need to. Okay. Can I have a motion, please, to approve the financial documents as presented by Ms. Sanchez?
So moved.
Second.
And
And Tim seconded.
Jim second.
Uh-huh.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. And Katie, that includes the POs, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. So let's do that. And now we can do the bars, and then we'll vote on those separately after you've presented them.
Perfect. Okay. Let me pull that in.
Aside from the financial.
Nice.
Great. So, bar 1 IB, this is an initial budget bar. And this is for that kitchen renovation, kitchen infrastructure grant is what it's for. And we'll be doing a kitchen renovation and construction project with that. The amount is $215,000. So we have that awarded and we'll be able to utilize that. Bar 2M, this is just a maintenance bar in 24153, and this is for the English language acquisition. And this is just a reallocate for some of our actual expenditures, because during the budget process, PED changed one of our expenditure lines. So just kind of moving that to where it needs to be so we can spend it for instructional materials this year. And then bar 4I, this is an increase bar, and this is for pre-K that we talked about earlier. And this is for essentially kind of our initial budget for pre-K for this year for $400,000. So this bar is kind of long because it's has to, budget for everything. So it's a few pages. And then that's all the bars that we have for tonight. We just have those three. I don't know if anyone has questions on any of those.
Can I have a motion to approve the bars as presented by Katie? By Miss Sanchez?
Mary moves that. So moved, I think that's what you say.
I'll second it, Sue Steckity. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you so much, Katie. That was great. I really appreciate it. Tim, anything else? How about from well, we talked already a little bit about the audit committee. Anything?
Mary's getting the census numbers real quick.
Okay,
So currently we have 33 pre-K students enrolled. We have 209 K through 5th graders enrolled. And we have 56 students on our lottery list.
Great.
great.
Good numbers.
Good deal.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids. No? And
You want more?
You want 240, right? Over here, wasn't
I
that
went
it?
223.
223.
Exactly,
And
223.
And
not
how many do you
224.
want in
40,
pre-K?
right? You want-
I need 40.
I need 40, okay.
But our projection though is 201, so we're over that. So we're good for budget.
Great.
For budget,
Yeah.
love that.
Tim, anything else?
I've got nothing else on the audit committee side.
Did they meet?
They did not meet. Well, no.
That was
I was on a call with PED around the audit entry stuff, but that was not a meeting.
right.
No meetings, so no meetings, no meetings.
We have a meeting in September, is that right?
That is correct.
September what? Does anybody know?
No.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm looking right. So it's September 25th.
did she say?
Um,
just say-
25th.
Yeah. And our audit will start September 16th.
Good, gotta have something to fill in that spot.
I blocked that one out, Katie.
Yeah.
In my head. I mean, we just talked about it an hour ago. And I forgot.
Oh. Aging fast, huh?
Mhm.
Okay.
Thanks, Tim. Ms. Bachman has received the end of the year information for on what's the right word, Lori?
Student progress.
Student performance.
Oh, yeah, our end of
Yeah.
year data.
Yes.
Yes.
And so we did not meet this month. We're going to meet next month, and by that time, Ms. Bachman said she'd have the graphs ready and everything for us to discuss it. So we'll have it ready for the next board meeting. And that's all I have from the academic committee. Merch?
We did not meet this month. We'll probably meet, next month.
And maybe perhaps Lori'd like to give us her report.
She probably would.
Sure. So I guess, so I do have one follow-up, and those are the goals that I put proposed goals below. If you guys wanna,
The goal area.
yeah, those are my proposed goals. So the first one would be to reorganize and document administrative processes for the purpose of clearly defining the role and tasks assigned to executive director, a position that would be called either principal or dean of students, and operations manager. And I can report on that progress
Mm-hmm.
December, March, and May. And then I want to continue to explore the PE capital option. So we just had like a possible breakthrough moment today. I don't know, it's going to be a long road, but we are trying to partner with NDI, and they actually approached us through a teacher, the program people who do the dance programs for students in schools. So we are going to do a contract with them. It is extremely affordable, and it'll be for our upper classes. And she even said during our meeting that the building is not utilized during the day, but we were talking to the building person. She's the program person. So maybe once we start this relationship, it can develop into something, that we can maybe use their facility, because we had tried that before in the past.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think
Nothing's moving on.
it's a step in the right direction. So
Yes.
I'm so excited. I mean, it's going to be really cool.
So when you contract for the upper classes with NDI, they're gonna get dance classes?
Mhm.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and there's going to be a show.
Performance at the
Yes.
end.
Yeah.
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 They do it at my schools and.
And when you say upper classes, you mean 1 through 5 or 3
No,
through 5?
fourth,
Fourth and
fifth.
fifth.
4 and 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to continue that, even though we didn't really get far last year. And then I wanted to look for another funding option. That's not really a new goal. I think that first one is really going to be important to do this year. And it's gonna take some time, and we've already kind of put in place a couple of things. And then for instructional leadership, of course, that'll be the academic plan. And those goals and targets will be similar. It's just how we get there will be a little different. And that plan I have to have submitted by August 26th. And I'll share that with the academic committee.
August 26th?
Yes, I'll have share that with the academic committee and with the board, the full board. So
Yeah.
And then other than that, I don't know if you guys have questions on that or any feedback, or if you don't have it now, you can reach out later, but
But that's gonna be built off that data that you have, right?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I think the rest of the report, like what I've done, there's a lot of getting ready for school, a lot of prep, a lot of creating resources we've quite a few new teachers this year. And so then what we decided was, I mean, we only have 2 days, and there's so many required trainings we have to do, and just stuff that they just have to know, and we don't get to really do a dive into curriculum or anything like that. And so we're gonna do a couple of 2-hour sessions, 3 2-hour sessions with the new teachers on how to use that curriculum when we don't have kids in the building.
Mhm.
And then we'll do some time where they can go and visit other classrooms and get that model. We're already doing it now, but those sessions really came out of conversations. You know how I meet with new staff once a week for the first year.
Mhm.
It just came out of that, and also the support we're providing in the classroom and the questions they have. So I think that will be a good thing that we're going to do starting in September after our August 30th collaboration day with all staff. We'll do that after
August 30th is the next
collaboration. Yep. Yeah. So
I know for me, going into other people's classrooms and seeing how they did things was very eye-opening. So I'm glad to see that.
Yeah,
we're
we're-
doing.
Yep, in fact, we're doing some of that this week, starting already, so and we're like really kind of relying on those teachers to, the list of things we're going to cover in those trainings came from them, so we want to really get that tailored to what they need, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And then other than that, I don't have anything else unless anybody has questions.
Anybody?
I do not. The goals look good to me.
Okay,
Yeah, they look good, Lori.
okay.
Thank you very much.
This one, that's the big one.
Yeah.
Gonna be time intensive.
Yes.
Thanks for all your hard work getting ready.
Thing you like.
Yeah, it is. I even
You know
told
it
I
is.
even told them that in the first meeting we had. So
Very excited about it.
She's just, that's what she's gonna do, that's all.
so
Okay, I lost my agenda.
Tim, how about the governance committee? We got a little, some new stuff in the employee handbook.
I think we have some stuff to review in there.
Okay, I just want to say one thing. When I look at that stuff, I cannot see the changes. So.
Yeah.
For some
we go.
reason, I can't see it. Okay.
So we just all we did, you can see this is a result of our calendar being changed, and then we
Mhm.
never went back and changed the language. So we wanted to keep the same amount of leave, not reduce it, because honestly the teacher and the days are different, and we don't know if our days are going to be. So we thought that this would be a better way to reflect it, especially when we need to calculate it for payroll and for leave and all of that. So we changed it from the amount of hours worked to just to 1.0 FTE. And then it changed it to hours. Does that make sense? If you see what was there before. I don't know if I'm explaining it very well. Do you want to take
Go
it?
ahead, Julie.
Crack at it? Yeah.
Give it a go. So we're simplifying it essentially, so we don't have to change it down the road if our hours in that we work in within the day change.
Mhm.
It's just a more clear statement, so essentially, full-time employees are getting 16 hours of leave per year.
16 days or 16 hours?
16 hours for personal leave. Now the medical,
Personal.
yeah, the
There's a
sick leave
separate
is
sick leave.
different. Yeah.
And what is the working hours right now? How many hours a day?
So staff report at 7:50 and they work until 2:40. With the exception of Wednesday mornings is our 45 minutes in the mornings where we have additional staff training.
So 7:40 to 2:40 is
7:50 to 2:40
So it's 6.33.
33
Yeah, 6.3
is what it comes out to.
Yeah.
So that's why it gets a little bit tricky, because depending on our hours and the amount of days that we're working each
Mhm.
year, it can fluctuate depending on our calendar that's approved. And so this just simplifies it.
But they can still take an hour here and an hour there.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And that.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
if they have a doctor's appointment.
absolutely.
And personal leave is very different than sick leave.
Is that the only thing that changed?
Well, there's the personal and then the sick, right?
Or
the-
sorry, today.
Yeah.
Where is that? Where it is, sorry.
So we just did the same thing here.
Okay.
That's all there was. It
That
seemed
should
to me
say-
there were,
Is it 40 or 80?
It's 80.
Okay.
80 is correct.
Okay.
it seemed like there were a lot of blue lines.
Yeah,
So 80 would be how many days a year? Basically, right now.
Well, let's see, 80
2 weeks.
Well, it's more than that because of our because of
Because of our
we have a
breakdown of
6.33 days. So
And can it be accrued like year after year?
It rolls over every year.
It rolls over, but personal does not, correct?
Katie, can you answer that?
it says it right up there in that section.
So it does roll over. There is a cap for both personal and sick leave. I think it's 40 for personal leave and 200 for sick leave. So at some point they might start losing it, but yeah, it rolls over if they don't use it in that year.
Because ours always converted to sick leave. If we didn't use our personal leave, it converted to sick leave the next year.
I like that idea.
Not really. Because then when you retire, you get paid like 30 cents on the hour.
That's better than losing it.
I mean, something that yeah.
So do we need to have a vote on accepting the changes in the employee handbook?
Yes,
Yeah.
you
Sure,
do.
why not?
All right, may I have a motion to accept the changes as presented as presented.
Mary, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye. Great, thank you.
All right.
Do we have any new business? Anything we haven't covered that anybody'd like to bring up? All righty, our next meeting is September 10th at 5:30. And so I would say we were adjourned at 6:13.
Wow.
Nice work, gang.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Next month I'll be live and in person there so I can meet everyone.
Oh,
All
good.
right, sounds
I'm
good.
Teresa.
Take
Good.
care.
Thanks.
See you guys next month.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.